Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me is the greatest robot in the world, Ben.
Easily the nicest intro I've ever had. Easily.
So, this week we read the first 3 volumes of Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy.
Yeah.
A classic 1960s manga.
I had to there were several times where I not annoyed is far too strong of a word, but like seeing like, oh, this is overplayed or something like that. I'm like, no, wait, Ben, it's from the 60s. It's not overplayed yet. Reel it back. But I enjoyed it.
It's manga created by the guy who created all manga genres.
Really?
Yeah.
That
So Astro Boy is Tezuka's most well-known thing, but he was incredibly prolific across all genres. Including comics more for adults and comics for girls, just literally all genres.
Oh, wow.
There's a reason he's called the god of manga.
Oh, shit. I didn't know.
The big eye thing Astro Boy has in here he's taking from Disney, but that's a thing in anime and manga because of him.
Oh, so this is like the origin. Okay.
This is yeah. This is when all this shit gets codified, kind of, in Japanese media.
So he's the reason.
It's all his
for
fault.
All these fucking degenerates. Okay. So it's not Hayao Miyazaki saying anime was a mistake. It's this guy saying manga was a mistake. Right? That's what I'm hearing.
Sure. I mean, the first anime created from a comic was Astro Boy.
Oh, okay.
First animated Japanese animated show. It was in black and white. It was Astro Boy.
Damn. I didn't know we were like I've heard of Astro Boy, of course.
Yeah.
My first and one of the only references being a brief bit in Calvin and Hobbes where he puts a shitload of Crisco in his hair and does it up like Astro Boy. But even then when he made that reference, I understood it, but I didn't really know how I understood it. I was pretty young. I was 10. I'm I know what he means. I just don't know how I know this character. But I didn't know I didn't know this was so many firsts and everything. First and also so influential as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the stuff that Tezuka's drawing on is early Disney stuff, the Max Fleischer Superman cartoons, and classic stuff, and sci-fi stories that he was reading. Because there's a lot of hard sci-fi in this too. But again, that combination of Disney optimism for kids and Superman heroics,
dude,
is
it's
kind
so
of
optimistic.
The stuff that is building into Astro Boy. Comics for
He's
kids.
It's almost
for
too
boys.
optimistic. Don't trust it.
Well, look, it does have its hard edges. This is a story that starts out with
Don't spoil.
This kid
Don't
dies.
Spoil.
Don't spoil Volume 1 of Astro Boy.
Okay, I understand how it
issue
starts,
0.
but usually when you say it starts out, don't spoil. Be careful.
Don't.
I'm invested
Okay.
now.
Well, I just mean that the way this story begins is with Tobio getting into a car accident and dying, and then his dad, Dr. Tenma, creates a robot duplicate of him. He turns to be the greatest robot in the world, and then is like, "Oh wait, you're not actually my son. You don't even grow. Get the fuck out of here!" And then he like sells him to the circus, which is pretty fucking bleak.
Yeah.
And then Astro gets rescued by another robotics professor, Professor Mizu, and he kind of becomes Astro's new dad, and
Becoming,
takes care of him.
definitely like the father role.
Mm-hmm.
I felt it a little bit in like the second story where where Adam gets a sister, and he's like, I have a family
Yeah.
now. I'm like, oh my god, your dad is like right there, dude. The
Well,
man who saved and raised you is right there.
yeah. So those characters, I think, originated in the show adaptation. And they're all also robots built by Uchimizu for Astro. So technically, they're like Astro's mom and dad are younger than Astro.
Gotcha. So,
But just so he can have like a normal, he can have a heteronormative family dynamic life.
yeah. I need to ask. I didn't quite
Sure.
understand. Like the first two volumes were from a different thing than the third volume that we read, or is it all part of the same thing? And the third volume is just like a deviation into something else.
What do you mean?
So
I don't know.
So we had the first. Let me pull up the stuff. TM. So we had volume 1, and that was, like our origin point, right? And we get all the way. I forget exactly what happened. Like the style, the art shift in volume 3. Like, did you mean to send? Is this how I find out I read the wrong thing? So there was like a huge art style shift in volume 3. No.
No. No. Not huge.
Noticeable. Well, okay, we met Pluto earlier, and he showed up, and Astro Boy's sister like put a wreath of flowers on his horns, and then he kind of disappeared. And then volume 3 was like a wildly different, like Superman 2005 to Superman like 1950.
What?
Okay, I'm gonna.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
All right, I'll scroll here.
We can these archive.org links are currently not working for me.
Oh God,
Archive.org.
that doesn't bode well. Oh man. I had a good time.
But now I don't know what you read.
I think
the art style changed.
I think it's fine. But there is a chance that I read a different era. Are there like different eras of Astro Boy? Like, did they do reboots or like tell the story again?
Probably. Literally the thing I wanted to do this for is a retelling of one of these stories.
Yeah. I got what you were talking about. That wasn't a problem. Like I definitely got that thing. Okay. So I'm gonna send you a picture of one of the robots, Pluto.
Sure.
Uh-huh. So in the first 2 volumes, like this is the art style we're dealing with, and this is what he looks like when he appears in the second volume, briefly, before he like freaks off.
What? That image you sent me should not be in what we read.
Okay,
I don't know
well,
what the hell that is.
Okay, well, I clicked the links you sent, sir.
Yeah.
That's what I'm dealing with. Like, it was good. He was not a prime part of it, and then I got to the 3rd volume, and I assume then that this is correct. Drastically different. That banger, right there.
Yeah. That's what he should look like.
Okay, so the 3rd volume was like all of that, and it was his story, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
That's why Volume 3 starts with the greatest robot on Earth story, which is the only time Pluto should be appearing at all.
Okay, so I remember you said it like took place in Volume 3, so I like didn't question it. I'm like, oh, it's like a callback thing, I guess. Like the art style is definitely older, right? I'll send you the cover. This is the first volume I read. Hang on, it's loading. There it is.
That's not what I linked you.
That's 100% what you linked me.
Nope.
Volume 1.
Because I can see the thumbnail on the...
Oh, I clicked the links, my dude.
I don't know what the fuck happened, but that's not the right thing.
Why is the archive... The archive is temporarily offline. Amazing.
Yeah.
I clicked the link, and then I downloaded his PDF. So, like, is it possible that someone somewhere, like, fricked up, and the PDF download is different than the other downloads? Or they, like, linked to the wrong?
I mean, maybe. The PDF download could have been wrong.
Something.
Because I didn't check the PDF downloads. I only looked at the pages that were on the internet.
Yeah.
Which is not that volume. It's not that art at all.
That's wild. I mean, well, we'll find out if it lines up. I assume it does for the most part, except that now, you know, your comment about him getting dropped off at the circus definitely makes more sense. That's what I'll...
Wait, what?
In my version, I don't know if I learned that. I don't know if I learned that yet. So he definitely was created. He had a son. He had a son, and Tenma. Yes. He had a son, and that son got hit by a car, and we didn't quite know after that. Like, he definitely made the robot, and there's the implication or the possibility that, like, this robot also had the memories of the boy in it, but were, like, kind of locked, maybe locked. I hadn't gotten to that bit yet. They were, like, leading up to it. And then maybe he was disappointed with the robot for some reason, also kind of not yet revealed, and, like, dumped it.
Not yet revealed? What?
Or at least... Yeah, like they did. Okay, so there's Atlas, right? The bad robot.
You read the wrong fucking thing.
I mean, clearly, given by the fact that it's like a super... I don't know what to tell you, dude. I clicked the link and I clicked download PDF.
Now I don't want to talk about it because you read the wrong thing.
Okay.
And these links are broken.
Okay, well, I read a third of the right thing. Man, I had such a good time too. I like blew through it. I was enjoying myself. I mean, we could talk about Pluto's bit.
I'm just so flustered by this being wrong and that I can't show you the right thing.
I mean,
Like, if I could at least show
I
you
could
what.
see, I could see the third, like the third thing is completely right. The third volume is straight on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I assume they're all like that, right?
Yeah. That's the correct volume 3. What
And
the
even that intro, right? Of volume 3, where he's talking about like the world's greatest robot proved to be one of the most popular stories I drew for the Astro Boy series. I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
the third volume's like a throwback thing. I get it. Like,
No, all the volumes had that kind of thing in them.
okay, yeah. Well, not the weird ass new ones from
Oh my
like,
god.
yeah. It's so wild. Oh man, it was the best of times.
Ben reads the wrong thing.
I mean, at least I read stuff this time. I didn't forget any of them. I mean,
You didn't think, like, maybe this doesn't look like 1960s comics?
I mean, I don't question stuff.
The part where it says artist Akira Himekawa on the cover of that one?
I didn't look at the cover at all. I scrolled. I wasn't reading the cover. I was reading the the text.
Let me... Okay, Internet Archive is working again, maybe? Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, the PDF download link is just a different fucking comic. Wild.
That's absolutely ridiculous. That's okay. I mean, that's...
Yeah, when was this comic made?
It said 2000, like early 2000s somewhere. I think like in the back. First print March 2006.
Wild.
Well, like when I noticed the art style difference, I was like trying to figure it out, but
Uh-huh.
I was in my head I was like, did I do something wrong? And I'm like, no, I clicked the link. Like, Hank doesn't make mistakes. I make mistakes. I clicked the links, and it said like the Astro Boy, and there's Pluto, and Hank was talking about like Pluto and stuff, which I'll be real, I thought was, I know that like it's not the same. Like we're dealing with radically different pieces of media. I did think Pluto would be a dog, nonetheless. Like
Pluto,
a robot,
not Pluto.
a robot dog, but I still thought. I really had it in my head.
Yeah. Yeah. That's weird. Yeah, it's just the PDF download links are for different comics
Yeah.
than what's actually than the links I sent you.
I mean, I guess I should have. I probably could have just grabbed the comic book zip, I guess. Maybe that's right.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Frustrating.
I don't know.
I mean, next time we can swap, you know?
I don't really have any interest in this 2003 whatever retelling of Astro Boy, honest 2006 retelling. If I'm being real.
So how much Astro Boy have you done? Like, I mean, what's your history with it then? Like what of it have you done up?
Not that like being aware of it, like having checked out the anime before and finding it kind of unwatchable.
What like,
Like
when was the
like
when was the anime? When did that come out again? Like one of the first?
the first in the 60s.
Okay, like still in that.
Yeah, no, like the original Astro Boy anime is like old also.
Hell yeah. What?
That's why it's unwatchable, because like it's like really low quality old black and white animation.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a bit.
And I haven't found it like a version of Astro Boy, like an adaptation, like or a modern version of it that I found compelling, other than Pluto, which is like one of the greatest comics ever made. But that's because it's like a master who has like a vision for a different angle on retelling this story. That's kind of a different thing. It's not just retelling it. He's also kind of reshaping it in certain ways.
Yeah. I guess I looked it up briefly. I remember stumbling.
And I like looked into, and I just like glanced at Astro Boy stuff previously.
Okay.
Like mostly my interest in Astro Boy is like, oh, this is an important historical thing that is like literally what Mega Man ripped off.
Dude, after finishing these, I remember you said that like it's basically Mega Man, and I like, of course I know Mega Man and shit, and I saw the similarities, right?
Yeah.
And I looked up Mega Man expecting to see like influenced by Astro Boy. It didn't even fucking reference it. Like it didn't say
No.
anything about it. And I'm like, how? How?
They just straight ripped it off.
It's so blatant. To be fair though.
It's like if Astro hadn't been made by Dr. Tenma, he had just been made by Dr. Ochimisu. And like he doesn't have butt guns.
Yeah, I was also wondering, like you talked up the ass jets or whatever, the ass blaster.
Oh, does he not use
There's
the
no
ass
ass
guns
blaster.
in the new one?
Not yet. I don't know. Maybe that's like.
Well, he uses it. He does use it in the Pluto fight. So if you read that.
Yeah,
you would have seen it too. With a rat-a-tat-tat sound effect.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting like you said it was a go-to.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, not that I would have known.
Man.
The best laid plans of Hanks and Ben's off go awry.
See, let's see, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, it is a little bit into his first story where you get the butt cannons. It's on page 31 of the book, but I don't remember what page the book starts on.
It's page 31. Find it again.
There, I sent you. See? That's an introduction of his butt guns. In that bottom left panel.
Yeah.
Where it goes through all his powers.
Absolutely blessed.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's really frustrating to me is that you didn't read his original origin story, which is not like a long thing, but it, is his origin.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like close.
Kind of. You did use the butt guns. I want to say it's terrible. It's what a betrayal.
I mean,
so what were the plots of the stories you read? Because now I'm curious. Because I like literally haven't read what you read.
so he I mean, he starts existing, right? Like, it starts with him waking up. And it immediately, like, the optimism was still there. Like, again, when you were, when, like, up until the only thing you said where I was like, did I just misunderstand this? Or does Hank just, like, know more about it? And it, like, because he's read further? Was the circus thing. But, like, the optimism starts immediately. Like, Adam leaps up and he's, you know, doing his stuff, and he accidentally kills a goldfish, and Professor O, yeah, like he's playing, right? Like he's like, doesn't know what anything is really, and he kind of, like, without thinking about it, like, knocks over a fish tank, and the professor is like, "No, yo, you're the first robot with a heart. Like, you need to respect life."
Okay, none of that is in, because so that's like modern decompressed storytelling. Because in the original manga, it goes from like the short where he's like his origin with Dr. Oshimi rescuing him from the circus in like one page, to there's this story about this group that's like kidnapping dogs to make a cyborg army, because if you have a dog brain in the nervous system, then those dogs can attack and hurt people, which robots can't.
Yeah,
and
tracks.
It's like the story of like this internal struggle of this cyborg who used to be a dog, and Astro like talking with him, and eventually he realized, like, no, I am a dog, and at the end he becomes a cyborg dog, and they stop the cyborg army that's being used to get all these diamonds that are on the moon, that are also cursed because of an ancient diamond civilization on the moon that destroyed themselves trying to get more diamonds. And they have this big robot with a giant eyeball.
Wild.
like it's just like you read a really different thing.
I mean, clearly. Like, this definitely seems like maybe, like, it's, in that sense, it's more modern. But remember how I said, like, the old tropes that are just, like, played out and shit that I tolerated more because they're from the 60s?
I'm sure those were just like actual tropes.
I'm like, well, I take it back.
That's fine.
They kept, like, in some of this shit too, I'm like, man, they really use the word robots fucking all of the time. Back in the day, it was just robots. Robot this, robot that. Back in 2006.
Reading a 2006 comic going, back in the day, man, things were wild.
I don't know if it's just if it's like a thing from the the translators, or it's how it was written, or it was like written intentionally, like trying to stay true to the source in that regard somehow. Which I could kind of see. I mean, there was oh man, I really, like, I should have put it together, I guess. Like, I'm looking at some of these panels and they don't really look like they're from the 60s. Yeah. Good shit though. Does Atlas exist in that comic? In the old one?
Atlas? I don't know what Atlas is.
Oh no. He's like, it's not like a Dark Link situation, but it is like a I was built to destroy you situation.
Oh, weird.
He's also built by Tenma.
Nope, that doesn't exist.
Okay. Oh man.
The fact that you read like the Pluto story twice is what
it wasn't
wild.
It's not. It's not twice, and that's why, like, the wording used in in volume 3, like the real volume 3.
Yeah.
In the intro, when he's talking about like this is one of the most popular stories, blah blah blah. I mean, like my brain was like fried, like trying to understand, and that like I just I'm like, okay, we just gotta trust. Like this is
You should have asked.
trusted too hard. Yeah. But it was worded in a way where I thought like, I guess ultimately like it was my failure to understand that we were like truly reading the original, I guess. Cuz like after getting to that third volume, like clearly there was an art style shift, and as I like it's older, obviously, like I noticed that immediately. And I thought like it was part of the same run, but it was like oh,
No.
when I introduced Pluto before
I
in
don't
this
know.
run, like it was so popular, and we got letters from people that were like, "Why is Pluto gone?" And this is this is a story that like have more Pluto or something. Like I should have asked.
You should have asked. So you made your brain made the wrong assumptions or whatever. Like, I don't know. We were reading original Astro Boy. That was what we were doing.
Yeah. I I was just real confused.
I almost don't even want to. I feel like I can't even just like go down and talk about the story now because that's not what this episode is now. This episode is Ben read the wrong thing.
I
I'll
mean,
talk about the rest of it later.
part of the part of the problem is that like it was the first two volumes were consistent, right? Like I feel like this whole thing would have been
Yeah.
avoided if even just the first volume was what it was supposed to be. Like, oh, okay, this is like the original
Yeah.
60s stuff, and then suddenly we hop to 2006. Like,
I don't know.
okay.
You could have noticed that the stuff on the website, the link that I sent you did not line up with the link you downloaded.
What do you mean? Like the pages or whatever?
Like the cover that's
I
on
did not.
the link I sent you. The thumbnail image at least
Absolutely, but
does not line up.
I was. I mean, I'll like honestly click the link, scroll immediately down, find PDF, and download it, and then rinse and repeat for the next two links. And I
Yeah.
didn't even internalize like what the cover was at all.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly forgot that it was that they had it like uploaded online to scroll through.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not like. I mean, it's like fucked up. It's
really
annoying
weird.
that
Did you
the PDF download was just for a different comic.
try any of the other downloads here?
No, I didn't. I didn't check any of the download links
Okay.
because I scrubbed through what was on the website, and that was the correct thing. So.
All right, I'm gonna.
Because I read a physical omnibus version that has all 3 volumes.
Yeah.
So
You
I
know
wasn't
the
reading any of
scans for
these
the
stuff.
original the scans for the thing that I read, like they weren't even great. Like they cut
Yeah.
off in the middle so badly sometimes. All right, I'm going to download. I mean, I guess the comic book zip. I'm going to try out this comic book zip. I'm so curious now to know if it actually is the right thing or if it's just the wrong thing again. And there's
Yeah, I
no
wonder.
reviews even.
I mean, it's manga uploaded to Internet Archive.
Sometimes though, when I was hunting for some of the more obscure kaiju films or films that I thought were kaiju films, like sometimes this archive was the only place I could find them, and there were a lot of comments on them.
Mm-hmm.
Open this place up as a resource for me. This is also like taking 100 years to download, so. So you said, what person did you say, like they're one of the people on the cover, like the artist? I should have been into.
It just. It literally says on the cover, original artist, and then below that, the artist of the person who did this. Because obviously Tezuka didn't
like the
draw
original
these
and-
volumes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, again, just scrolled,
like, whatever.
Scrolled right past.
I get it. You're not attentive.
I mean, not to
some
that
things.
stuff. No.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were doing an episode on the covers of Astro Boy, I would have. I would have looked at it in more detail. I mean, do you want to talk about the Pluto fight at all?
No, we'll be saving that for next episode.
I. It was. I mean, the thing that I read, the brief like arc, it was essentially his introduction. And I would assume he comes back, but they definitely define the thing. How do you pronounce his Astro Boy's sister's name? Adam's sister's name? Uran?
I don't know.
Uran? Uran?
I don't remember. I've never heard it said out loud, so I'm not.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Uran, I suppose.
That doesn't sound right.
That doesn't sound right. Uran. Uran?
Maybe it's Uran.
Adam's sister.
Yeah.
Like they definitely established that whole, like Pluto doesn't want to make her sad or whatever. Sort of like feelings thing. I mean, he has a little bit of that, right?
Okay.
We see some of that.
Sure. I would say 1960s comics less like broadly emotional in that way. I don't know.
No, we got some
Maybe-
of that.
maybe
in
that
Volume
is-
3.
Yeah.
Like he outright says, like, I don't want to make you, or whatever.
Yeah. But she's also just like the girl that has to be saved because she's the girl.
True. Yeah.
I'm downloading the torrent off Internet Archive to see what's in that.
Okay, cool. I'm like halfway through their comic book
This
thing.
episode is just a weird thing of me going, how did this happen? What happened? What is this weird dolphin that is in this version you read?
That's the deep sea research robot. He's scared of the ocean.
Oh, weird. He is not in the original stuff.
Yeah, that tracks.
Didn't think it was weird that this like volume 2 ends on like a cliffhanger and then it just goes right into Pluto. And the art style was completely different. I'm mad that at that point you didn't ask what was something wrong.
I mean, but like, again, that was after like 2 volumes of consistency, right?
Yeah, but you could have at least like, is volume 3 wrong then?
Well, no, volume 3 wasn't wrong. It was a throwback because we got the intro where he was talking about a thing. Yeah. It was just a mess in my brain.
Yeah. Let's see what this volume 1 was like.
Oh, did yours finish already?
No. I'm scrubbing through this comic you read. This is super different. What the hell? Like Dr. Tenma, like not even in this original. This
No,
origin.
Not in his origin? Yeah, he's there. They just don't reveal it right away. It's like his origin is like much more piecemeal. There's still like filler. He does some wacky adventures and stuff, but like that's why I said like we don't know like what exactly, like does he have the boy's memories in him or does he not? Like they revealed that stuff slowly.
That's not how it was done.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's weird you would break that up in your retelling of this thing from the 60s.
Well, because I think they changed. So in the original version, is he just a robot that looked like his son, or does he have his son's actual memories?
I don't know that part is clear. It kind of doesn't care, I'd say.
Gotcha.
But like it's definitely implied that he's just supposed to be Tobio, but then he's not, and Tenma gets really fucking mad about it.
See,
my favorite part is like, if you were really Tobio, you'd grow. And Astro goes, "I'm sorry, Papa. I'm sorry. Please let me stay. I could grow like this." And his like head like springs up, like. And then like Tenma fucking like smacks him with a shovel. It's like kind of fucked up.
Jesus. Oh my god.
This is the thing.
You
didn't get the hard edge of.
Yeah, see, in this one, like, again, like they were building up. First off, it's Toby.
Okay, it looks like the CBZ is correct. Is the correct thing.
Okay.
UDF is wrong. Because this torrent has all the versions in it.
Oh, that's nice. I'm almost got their upload speed is so slow. Um, almost done with the straight zip file, the comic, the just the CBZ file, I guess. So we'll see where that link leads. Yeah, and this new one, the most I know after 2 volumes is Tenma has Toby, his precious boy, who runs in front of a car and gets donked, and then we know he made Adam, and for some reason was displeased with him in some way or something, and that's why he got abandoned, but not at a circus.
He gets sold. He
Oh
sells
shit,
him.
he sells him straight up? Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. And now, like, Tenma's whole thing, like, his driving passion is that he just hates humans. He's like, fuck it, robots are the next step.
He only shows up back again in this stuff to actually help Astro in the Pluto arc. He's not in it other than that short intro.
Oh. Yeah, he's like a constant. Not a constant, but like,
Yeah.
he shows up. I mean, I'll go back and do up the
Yeah.
the original.
Yeah, we'll talk about actual Astro Boy when you read the things I actually
I'll
intended for you to read.
I'll
That's fine.
hit him up, and
This is a funny
for what it's worth,
thing that happened. Misunderstanding.
I also had a very good time with these. Like, I might do both. I found it pretty enjoyable overall, because it retained enough of the, like, you know, that optimism thing, and, like, you know, that's kind of, maybe that's what I need right now. Like, he's just very cheerful about, like, you just gotta do the right thing. Just gotta be helpful. You gotta respect people, even if those people tried to, like, tried to destroy you, because that's what they were built for.
But you didn't read the plant people story.
Sure, but did you read the story where they meet a centuries-old dinosaur under the ocean?
No.
That's the sort of shit that I was like, maybe, like, I thought it would, I didn't question that it wasn't from the 60s. Like, some of these plots were, like, they were busting out Godzilla science in some of these things. Like, it was just super donkey plot points and stuff.
What about, you didn't read the story about the kid whose car blows up, and then it turns out his sister is a robot who's like a spare car brain for him in case his car broke. So then his sister becomes his new car.
Oh my
And that's
God.
the end of the story. It just ends. She's a car now.
All right. So see the direct comic book, like the CBZ zip file link, is the correct version. It seems like it's literally only the PDF thing that's fucked up. Like, out of all those links.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jesus. What are the odds? Yeah, well,
So it goes, dude. Sometimes technical difficulties.
I hate that fucking, it's like twice in a row. It'd be different if this was like however long, well, not twice in a row, but like the first time I forgot to tell you that the link didn't work or something was off.
Yeah.
Even though I noticed it, and I'm like, I had to tell Hank when I get home and like download those with the rest of my shit, and I just completely forgot when I got home. Sat down and it went out of my head. But I mean, I really should have like noticed this.
I mean, when you see what the original like is compared to the remake, it's pretty obvious. But
Yeah. Well, I
if you
mean,
don't
even
know, I guess.
yeah, I mean, like
I don't
in
know.
hindsight,
I don't know. I
of
don't know.
course.
I couldn't make that mistake because I know what modern comics look like compared to older comics. But man,
I mean, see, like when yeah, on one hand I do, but on the other hand, like maybe I don't. I don't know what I don't know what Japan was pumping out in the 60s. Maybe they were just way ahead of everybody else. You're telling me this page that I'm about to send. You're telling me that page didn't come out of a 60s comic book?
I'm telling you that did not come out of a '60s comic book. Yes.
That's crazy. Oh man. Well, this was I mean, like I'm excited for Astro Boy. I'm pumped up about it. It's a nice preamble.
Sure.
So there's that.
You said you enjoyed the actual great Greatest Robot on Earth story.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the Pluto thing was also totally fine.
Yeah.
Like
That's really the best story in here.
like
So.
the art style was confusing and stuff, but like even the like I mean it speaks, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing or what the fuck, but like the writing was not drastically different enough to me where I was like, okay, this is something completely, like it felt in line with it. If not just on a more, like in hindsight, I can definitely pick out bits where it's like, okay, yeah, this makes sense, but it was kind of in line with like the silliness of it and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, the Pluto thing, was cool, and also was like a lot of Mega Man shit from just that.
Oh God.
Like, did they never get any ramifications? Like, there was never any like legal troubles. It seems like it'd be an easy dunk, you know?
What meant the Mega Man thing?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's like just they made enough changes to not get in trouble, probably.
Yeah, I guess.
I think it's like legally it's distinct enough.
Sure. But also 100%.
Yeah, it's not. Honestly, it's just funny because like Mega Man is such a bigger thing these days.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
Well, when I was trying to find, like, I mean, when I was looking at the influence or whatever, um, it I didn't know how many Mega Man games there were. Like, I knew there was the main. I knew we were on like 11 or something for the main line, but like Mega Man X and Mega Man Z, is it just Z? Zero? I didn't know those also
Man
had a
X.
shitload of games. Like Mega Man X is like
Yeah.
a whole thing. I thought there were like 3 of them.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I had zero experience.
That's funny. And then there are like the Battle Network games. And then there's
Yeah.
the Mega Man Zero games, Mega Man X games. Those are separate series. There's a lot of Mega Man games. A lot.
Oh, dude, there's so many. And I had no
But
idea.
like, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, the defining things about Mega Man of them, like, defeating a robot and taking its powers, that's pretty unique to Mega Man. So, and that's, like, the driving force of those games. So,
Yeah.
it's more like it's more like superfluous. It's more like, I don't know, flavoring stuff.
Hmm. And I mean, the motivation for it, kind of. As
Well, I
far
think
as I
Capcom,
know,
like, had the Astro, like, made an Astro Boy game or something and then lost the license.
yeah,
So, like, we'll make our own version.
Yeah, I saw there was an Astro Boy, like a few Astro Boy games, but they didn't list like even on the Astro Boy page. I expected to find like Mega Man as a thing for some reason.
No, they don't have an actual connection.
Yeah,
It's like pretty fucking similar.
absurdly.
Except I like the like darkness of Astro Boy's origin a lot more. I like the grit that it has.
Yeah.
At
So
least-
what's Mega Man's exact origin then? Is he just like built to?
He's just a robot.
He's just a robot, just fight shit.
Yeah.
Fair
He's
enough.
Rock Man.
Right? Yeah, Rock Man. I saw that. Didn't know.
That's what he was called in Japan.
Yeah. So where?
So he just but then like he gets the ability to take other robots' powers when they turn evil.
So I saw that Astro Boy is like the Americanized. Is it just America or English or something? Do you happen to know like why that changed, or was it always Astro Boy was the name of the comic? I thought I'm probably not making sense. Let me check what I fucking read. This was on Wikipedia, not in the. Oh, Mighty Atom. Right. Astro Boy, known in Japan by its original name, Mighty Atom. Okay. I was just thinking, I was wondering like why they would need to change that. Like what did Astro Boy just fit more in line with like comic style nomenclature?
Probably. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you on that one.
Okay. Oh man. Even on here, I mean, I didn't check the wiki until afterwards. But like, the story follows Astro Boy, an android young boy with human emotions who was created by Tenma after the recent death of his son, Tobio. Eventually, Astro is sold to a robot circus. Like, that would have been enough. That would have been it.
Yeah, I should have sent you the list of stories as a way to double check you were reading the right thing.
Nah, I should have just like double checked. I should have paid more attention to the cover, I guess. I just didn't think I would. I didn't think it would be wrong, but I guess I definitely should have picked up on the fact that it was not a style to be expected of the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And when you recognized it as not the original run, because you then got to an original story.
Yeah, but the original one was just today.
Yeah. But I feel like when you saw that, you could have asked. I don't know. I just find it funny that I had no idea going into this recording. We went into this blind.
I'm just saying.
True. Fair enough. All right. I think that's a podcast. We'll actually talk about Astro Boy next time.
The original one.
The one actually written and drawn by Osamu Tezuka.
Yeah.
And not
Akira someone.
Was it?
Drawn.
Akira Himekawa.
Yeah.
Did these 2006 versions, retellings.
Yeah. They were still solid. If anybody wants to start there.
Fair enough. Email saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Find the Salt Circle Pod on Twitter. Or Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Salt Circle Podcast. I'm on Twitter @ComicPanels.
I'm not on Twitter or anything.
No. Maybe you're not the world's greatest robot.
Shit. Oh.
Peace.